The JoLynn Braley Show, Episode 001, Who is JoLynn Braley and what is the JoLynn Braley Show about? Hello, welcome. This is the JoLynn Braley Show, and I am JoLynn Braley. Thanks so much for being on the first episode, and Happy New Year. This is so exciting. We're in a brand new year. It's 2013, and this is my brand new show. But what about you? Aren't you excited about the possibility, about the opportunity, about the fact that you really could actually become the you've always wanted to be this year in 2013. Now, what if you could do that, though, without any struggle? What if you could actually lose the weight, finally, once and for all, do it without deprivation, struggle, or forcing yourself? Also, do it without having to stick to a New Year's resolution. Well, the topic of today's show actually, again, it's who am I and what is this show all about? And what I'm going to do here is give you an overview, and then I'll give you some details because I'm sure you'll have questions. And the reason that I expect you will have questions is because the things that I'm going to share with you are probably more than likely thoughts and facts, actually, that you have not heard before. So first of all, once again, my name is JoLynn Braley, and who am I? I am the FAT release coach. I am also the founder of the Inner Self Diet, which is the solution to permanent weight loss through a weight loss mindset. What I do is I mentor exceptional women and a few cool men to permanent weight loss through my step-by-step proven system, the Inner Self Diet. What's really important, though, I mean, I could tell you more about my skills. I could tell you about the fact that I'm a master NLP practitioner and coach. I'm an author, a speaker, a mentor. I'm an expert in the field of permanent weight loss, and I'm a weight loss mindset expert. But do you really care about any of that? Isn't it more important to know that I used to be where you are right now? That's why I do the work that I do, because I know how frustrating it feels to be stuck in that struggle with your weight, to be stuck in that struggle with food. And it's just not any fun. What is exciting, though, is that once you do have the core transformation on the inside, once you do get a weight loss mindset, then the whole food issue and the weight loss is, seriously, it's not even a big deal anymore. That's the simplest way that I can say it. I'll tell you a little bit more about that topic here in just a minute about my past struggle. I did want to also let you know, I do want to let you know that you can find me at fearlessfatloss.com and also at stophidingbehindthefat.com on all the various social media sites, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, StumbleUpon, wherever you can think of that is a main social media site, you'll find me on there. Oh, I did want to mention, too, be sure that you go to the JoLynnBraleyShow.com and like our Facebook page. It's a new page that I've just put up, and what I'm going to be doing is in the upcoming episodes, I'm going to give shout-outs to the newest people who like the page each week, which that should be fun. You can hear your name on the radio, hear it here on iTunes if you're listening on iTunes, and it's a fun thing to do. So you can do that at the JoLynnBraleyShow.com. JoLynn Braley, how do you spell that? It's JoLynn, Braley, B as in boy, Raley. I wanted to share just a little bit more with you here about the fact that I did used to struggle like you are right now. I've done it all. I've been there and done that with anything you could think of to lose weight. What I've done any kind of diet you could probably think of, diet pills, diet shakes, all the exercise DVDs, diet books. I even went to a weight loss center once, which totally drove me crazy. It just, I became even more obsessed with food. And, oh my gosh, what else? So many endless hamster wheel of struggle things, which, by the way, all of that, believe it or not, that's only 10% of the solution to permanent weight loss. 10% is about the method being diet and exercise. 90% of your problem or the solution is your mindset. So you can continue to diet and do another diet, make another New Year's resolution. If you've already broken this year's, you can make another one next year. But it's not going to ever make a difference until you actually change on the inside, transform at the root level on the inside, and actually get a true, honest-to-goodness weight loss mindset so that then you can do the physical action, which is the 10% of the solution, and follow through with that, and then actually get to where you want to be. Release the fat and keep it off. Also, I wanted to share with you, too, that my struggles began more than likely just like you when I was a little kid. All the clients, all of my awesome clients that I work with, they started struggling when they were kids. For almost all people, that's when it starts. I've talked to a couple women who they thought that they started struggling in their early 20s, but then when I asked them further questions, they realized that they actually did start struggling when they were 7 or 10 years old, something like that. But for myself, I was only 7 years old, and I was a skinny little kid. I was not even overweight as a child. But it was summertime. I remember exactly these very negative thoughts that I was having about my body and about the thoughts about food and weight and calorie counting, all these different things that I'd picked up on from some well-meaning adults around me. But it was summertime. I was in a little pair of red shorts, and I sat down in the front seat of my parents' car. And just like any normal human being, no matter what you weigh, when you sit down, your thighs spread out. And I looked down at my thighs, and I had the thought that I was fat, which I wasn't. However, I continued to believe that, and I continued to have a very negative mindset about the whole body topic. And eventually, I became overweight. It took me just a couple of years, and when I graduated from high school, that's when I really started to gain quite a bit of weight. I wasn't even overweight in high school, though. I was a size 5, and I thought I was overweight. So it was all a mind game, and your mind is more powerful than you can even believe right now or imagine. I'm sure that you don't realize how powerful it really is. But your mind is actually what leads your body. You cannot take an action without first having the thought to do it. Okay, so I continued to struggle, and it's interesting because way back in August 2010, that was several years ago now, I went from a size 12 to an 8 in only 2 months, and I did that without dieting, without depriving myself, without anything interesting at all, really. I didn't even really work out that much. It wasn't a type of diet program or anything. What had happened is that I was coaching my clients to wonderful success, permanent success with their weight. In fact, one of my clients I worked with, this was all the way back in 2010. That's Dave, and he's dropped 90 pounds without any struggle, without dieting, without forcing himself, and he's now running 4 to 5 times a week. He couldn't run back then when we worked together because he had the excess weight on his body, but now he is, and he's just doing great. But I'm really good at helping other people, and ever since I've been doing this work, I've been good at helping other people. But the thing is that even when you have the knowledge and the skills like I do, it's almost impossible to help yourself. Perhaps you can relate to that in your own life, how it's so much easier for you to help other people no matter what type of profession you have. But then when it comes to yourself helping you, how good are you at doing that? That is why anyone who's a high achiever, anyone who wants to make the fastest progress possible, they hire their own coach, their own mentor, to help them get to where they want to go in the least amount of time possible. As long as that mentor actually has a proven step-by-step system that is going to work, because it's worked for everyone else that just followed the steps, so all you have to do is follow the steps. But back to my story, I dropped those 4 sizes in just the 2 months, and then I went through the entire holiday season, which we just came out of here, and I didn't gain any weight. I ate whatever cookies I wanted to eat. And then in February, I got to a size 6, and all of this, I did this in the same way that my clients do today, except, again, I could not do this alone on my own by myself. So what I had to do in order to get to that place is back in the summertime, I had invested in myself to get my own coaching so that I could get unstuck and out of that struggle. Now, before I go on, I want to share with you what this show actually is about, what the JoLynn Braley Show is about. It's time for a commercial break. Isn't this exciting? We're doing a commercial. And here's the commercial. It's something for you, actually. It's also a promotion for one of my websites, fearlessfatloss.com. It's actually a bonus for you for being a subscriber to the JoLynn Braley Show. And what it is you can go right now and grab my free 5-day e-course, and you'll be able to discover the answer to the question, is your mindset fit or fat? Which actually that is not fat, it's F-A-T. And when you have an FAT mindset, you are an ideal match to an overweight, unhealthy body. An FAT mindset is filled with fear-attracting thoughts. The good thing about that is that once you get a weight loss mindset, then you are an ideal match to your ideal body. And then it's easy for you to take the action to release the fat and keep it off. But in my in-depth 5-day e-course, which is free, so you want to grab that now while it's still available, I go through quite a bit in that. It's quite in-depth. You can grab that at fearlessfatloss.com/show-bonus. Okay, now what is the JoLynn Braley Show all about? First of all, a couple of technical points. This is a weekly show, and each new episode will be broadcast on Thursday. Another technical point is that each of these episodes will be no more than 30 minutes. My aim is 20 minutes, but absolutely no more than 30 minutes. So these are short episodes. I can tell you right now that I could talk forever about the topic of a weight loss mindset. And actually, the topic of a weight loss mindset is so broad that I could go on forever. That is for the fact that in order to have what I call a weight loss mindset, it's about so much more than only your thoughts. It goes to the core to heal the root of your lifelong struggles with food and your weight, so that you can release that and then just move on with your life and allow the fat to drop off by living a healthy lifestyle, of course. Of course, you know that you need to do certain things if you do want to release the fat. It's always best to only put food in your body when you're physically full and stop when you are no longer physically hungry. Everyone knows that. But if you're an emotional eater, and if you have food compulsions and you're constantly saying, why can't I stop eating, then that information doesn't really matter to you. Not that it doesn't matter, but it doesn't help you because you're not able to do what I just said, which makes sense because when you do not have the proper mindset, the core weight loss mindset, then you're not going to be able to live a healthy and fit lifestyle and do it without struggle. Okay, so in case you haven't guessed, the overall main topic of the JoLynn Braley Show is about struggle-free permanent weight loss through a weight loss mindset. Your mindset is 90% of your problem. 90%. How you eat and exercise is only 10%. So 90% of the JoLynn Braley Show will be about 90% of the problem. Maybe sometimes I will talk about food and exercise, but if I do, that's only going to be a small 10%. Honestly, I bet that you know so much about nutrition and exercise that you could go teach a class on it right now. In fact, you know what's interesting? Even Mary Kay knows this. Mary Kay Cosmetics. In their business materials, which I am not a Mary Kay consultant, nor have I ever wanted to be, I just found out actually from somebody who became a Mary Kay consultant that in her materials, she states in there that 90% of a consultant's success with that business is all about the mindset. Only 10% is about the skill of learning how to make the phone calls, of how to let people know that you're selling Mary Kay, how to present the Mary Kay products. That there, the skill is only 10%. Mindset is 90% of the game. So, on the JoLynn Braley Show, also, I will be sharing stories with you, all kinds of stories, weight loss success stories, stories that I feel inspired to share. I could come up with a story just by going shopping and watching people and seeing what's on the store shelves. I'm always getting downloads of ideas and inspirations from source energy of what to share, what to write about, what direction to go, which actually is another good point to bring up. Another 100% necessary component of permanent weight loss is the fact that the laws that we live under here in this universe must be included. You might have heard of the law of attraction. Many people have heard of that now after seeing The Secret, which, by the way, left out an extremely important ingredient to manifesting what you want in your life, whether that's your ideal body or a new car. What was left out of The Secret is the fact that you do have to still take action. So that's very important to know. On some of the episodes, I will be sharing more about how universal law impacts your struggle or your non-struggle to get the body that you really want to have. Also, though, I'll be speaking about technical aspects of your mindset. Maybe you've even heard before that your brain is just like a computer. Your brain can be programmed. You can actually reprogram your mindset so that you can release the fat and keep it off. Again, that's just one component, though. There are so many different levels and processes and steps that go into creating a full and a solid weight loss mindset. So a mistake that a lot of people make is when they hear weight loss mindset, they think, oh, I just need to go think positive. Why don't I just go get a positive book and read it? But that doesn't work. And I could do a whole show about that, in fact. Now, I did say that these will be very short, no more than 30 minutes. My aim is 20 minutes, so I'm even looking at the clock right now, and I'm going to be needing to wrap up here very quickly. So then, I would expect that it makes sense to you after what I've shared today that 90% of the JoLynn Braley Show will be about the 90% of the problem, which is your mindset. 10% at the very most will be about how to eat and exercise. I really firmly believe that you do not need any more information about that. If you're like my wonderful clients that I coach, they already know how to do all of that. The problem is that they have not been able to do it and follow through with it before we work together. So before wrapping up the call here, I just want to give you a tip of the day, which actually is a question of the day, a question for you to ask yourself. 2 questions, in fact. I've shared with you here on this first episode of the JoLynn Braley Show, I've shared with you who I am and what this show is about. So here is a question for you to ask yourself. Ask yourself, who am I? Now, why would you want to ask yourself that? Well, if you answer, I am fat, then you are right, and you will continue to create that. So by asking yourself that question, just see what answers you get back from yourself. What comes up for you first? That'll be very interesting for you. If you were working with a very highly skilled mentor and coach, then there'd be more to do with that because you'd have a dialogue going back and forth. There'd be questions and answers and questions and answers and processes and actually getting to the heart of things. But that is a first step you can take. Just ask yourself that question and see what answers you get. And the reason that I said if one of the answers you get is I am fat, and then I said that you're right, is because that's a belief that you would have. And you have to prove your beliefs correct. If you don't prove yourself right, then you would be crazy, and you can't be crazy. So whatever you believe, even if it's very negative, you are going to prove yourself right. Another great example, if you believe that no one can ever help you and that you're just destined to always struggle with your weight, then you will prove that right also. Now, what's exciting about that is if you were to actually learn how to change those beliefs, so that let's say that you believed, and it wasn't just words that you spoke, but you actually believed, I am a naturally slender woman. Or if you're a man, I'm a naturally slender man, or a naturally fit man. You probably wouldn't want to use the word slender. I'm a naturally fit and strong man. If you actually fully believed that, then you wouldn't have any struggle with your weight. But again, it's not enough to just say the words. And interestingly enough, there is so much more going on the inside of you that is connected to the words and the thoughts that you think that I continue to hear from my clients that the things that I do with them, the processes I do with them, they've just never done anything like it before. And it's really neat because you have to do something different to get different results in your life. Okay, now I said I had 2 questions for you to ask yourself. The second question for you to ask yourself is, what exactly do I want in 2013? What exactly do I want for myself in 2013? And I suggest you write it down, pen on paper. But then you have to ask yourself a third question. Do I honestly, sincerely believe I can have this? Because if you have any doubt at all, then that will get in your way. So just to wrap up here, on today's show, you learned a little bit about me, and you learned that I used to struggle just like you do today. You learned what this show is about, and I gave you some very important questions to ask yourself. I strongly suggest that you actually follow through with those questions and get the answers from yourself. Make sure that you give yourself very clear and detailed responses. Thank you so much for being here on my first episode of the JoLynn Braley Show. If you're subscribed in iTunes, go ahead and give the show a 5-star rating. And also, you can go right now to www.thejolynnbraleyshow.com and like our page on Facebook. What I'm going to be doing is I am going to be giving a shout out to the new folks who like the page and the upcoming episodes. So each week and in each new episode, I'll give shout outs to those folks. It's a brand new page. This is the first time anyone's hearing about it. So you can go over there and like it now. And that is at thejolynnbraleyshow.com. Now, for next week's episode, the topic will be how to keep your New Year's resolution to lose weight. That's an appropriate topic, isn't it? Because we are here in the start of this brand new year. So once again, this is JoLynn Braley, the FAT Release Coach, and you've been listening to the JoLynn Braley Show. Here's to your best life and your best year yet in 2013, while in your ideal body, doing it all without struggle, deprivation, or willpower.